My name is Tyrese Brightflower Gould Jacinto. This is part 5 in the series of pine needle basket art. Video 1 is the introduction with some history of our tribe, the Nanticoke Lenni-Lenape, and the Longleaf pines. Video 2 is a description of the materials required before you start. And video 3 and 4 are the first of the how-to series in making the pine needle baskets. If you have found this video first, please be sure to locate the previous videos before you begin. Now that we have the proper size that we need for the basket, we're going to start the rows going up. You are basically moving the pine needles on top of the previous row and still sewing it down. As it begins to take shape, you'll see that it may be a little easier to keep it on the flat surface when you sew your stitch. In order to keep the pattern properly, you want to kind of guide it with your fingers to keep it tight, and then give it a tug going the opposite way. And that way it interlocks with the previous stitch. Now that we have the side completed going up, we're going to start turning it in to complete the top. And it's going to be the same concept. Instead of holding it out, we're going to hold the pine needles so that they start going forward, like so. It's as simple as that. It's going to rest inwards on top of the previous row until you get to the part where you want to close it off for the opening. Okay, so now that we have turned the corner for the top, I'm going to show you how to close it off. And how to close it off basically is just not adding any pine needles until you sew them all down. You want to make sure when you get towards the end that all your little pieces go into the stitch. This will be my last stitch. Goes off the basket. What I like to do is I like to go through the stitch that I just came from, make a sewing knot on the inside of the basket. After I make a sewing knot on the inside of the basket, I like to run my needle through a couple of the previous stitches. Tuck it under. And then inside, where you picked up the last stitch, make another sewing knot. Loop it, put your needle through the loop, pull it gently so it makes the knot closer to the stitch. You can snip off the tail. You can mold the basket, still very wet. So you mold the basket to the desired shape. You can tuck some of the tails in of the pine needles. And there you have it. And once it dries, get it into the right shape. It'll dry like it has started on the bottom, and it will stay in that shape. So when you're ready, you just repeat the other process that we did in the beginning videos, the same process for the beginning and starting, and then building the rows to make your lid. And I like to make the lid the same size as the bottom of the basket. There you have it. And it will dry to a really pretty golden brown. Thank you very much. Good luck with your basket.